I'm getting ready to throw some brisket in the crock pot. I'm gonna have this later. Thought I'd just go over how I do this. Most of the time I'm doing like a chuck roast or something, but the brisket was like $4.99 a pound, which was cheaper than the chuck roast. So I went ahead and grabbed one of those. I cut it down. I'm primarily using the meat from the point of the brisket. Sometimes you'll hear it referred to as the decal or the cap, but it tends to have a little more fat in it. So I'm really just going to put as much in here as my crock pot will hold, and that's usually 3 or 4 pounds, I think, somewhere around there. So, and what I've started to do is use some of these beef bones. You know, normally you would roast these off and make like a beef bone broth out of these, but I kind of like to throw them in here because it adds some extra flavor and some nutrients to the meat. I'm just going to stick these in here. And you could roast these ahead of time. That will give it a little bit more color and maybe a little more flavor. But I'll be honest with you, I'm doing this sort of in a hurry, I guess. I just don't want to spend all day doing this. So got that. And let's see, I'm just going to start arranging this in here, kind of in between, however it'll go. And really the idea is that you're gonna get this in here and then you're gonna cover it with water. So keep in mind that you don't want to fill this so full of meat that you can't get any liquid in here. So that'll be important. I think I might get all this in there. Not sure. It's gonna be tight, but I think we're gonna make it. And I do cut. You can cut this stuff in however size chunks you want. I kind of try to leave it at 2 or 3 inch square chunks. So it's got some good marbling in there. 2 or 3 inch chunks, like I say, that kind of takes a little longer to cook it. It's kind of that low and slow. But anyhow, and one thing I like to do, about a tablespoon of vinegar. I like red wine vinegar in this. You could do any vinegar. I'm not crazy about apple cider vinegar in this, but I think it just does give it a different flavor. But you do you. And then tablespoon of kosher salt. And I got some hot water over here. I like to preheat the water because otherwise you're putting cold water in a crock pot and you're trying to heat up, and then it ends up taking an hour, hour and a half just to get it as hot as you want it. So I'm just going to try to get this covered. And don't use, if you try to drink healthy, like reverse osmosis water or filtered water, don't turn around and put tap water on your food because you're going to end up consuming it. So I use our reverse osmosis water on this. And you could add some fat in here if you wanted to. Sometimes I'll stick like a 1/4 of a cup of tallow or something in here just to fat it up a little bit. But since this is from the point, it's probably going to have enough fat in it, so I'm not going to worry so much about that. All right, I'm going to get this in the crock pot. 4 or 5 hours later, hopefully I'll be eating on this. So give it a shot sometime if you haven't ever done brisket in the crock pot. I think you'll like it. Talk to you next time.